Batman is the best superhero, right?
Yes, of course, without a doubt.
And this is the best Batman game.
Let's review it.
So this is the review for the board game Batman The Dark Knight Returns.
By the end of this video, you will know if this is a game for you.
We have 6 burning questions that we will answer about this game. But before we do that, what is it all about?
Well, it's actually all about a graphic novel. If you read Dark Knight Returns, the graphic novel, this game goes through the same 4 chapters or books. Each book is divided like a small scenario, making up a 4-chapter campaign. This is a solo game. In each of these chapters, you're playing Batman and his allies and trying to take down that chapter's big baddie.
How you win is exactly that. You have to win a big baddie at the end of the game and, most importantly, survive while doing that. You do that 4 times and you finish the game.
So each turn, you will move the Batman, you will fight somebody, and you will play some cards.
There are mutants that you need to defeat, media that are bugging you all the time, cops are coming after you, and, well, the main villains each time as well, like Two-Face in the first scenario.
And you actually need to find where that villain is, or do enough stuff so that the villain possibly appears. A little bit of deck building, a little bit of area control, well, a lot of dice rolling.
A lot of dice rolling with these unique Batman dice.
Bat dice.
It's based on the comic, so it's very close to the comic, and you have the same villains, the same allies here. Batman is old, just as you, so you can kind of relate.
No, I'm older.
You also draw on the map, get new gadgets, and the most unique thing is build your own deck. You get to pick 3 cards, choose one to put in an event deck, and the rest will be your cards that you can use in combat or as a good event. So it's always this choice between the bad thing under here or the good thing here.
If you run out of grit, you lose. If you run out of health, you lose. If you run out of sanity, you lose. If the doomsday clock reaches 12, you lose. If there's too many riots, you lose. If the round ends and you didn't find the bad guy and defeat him, you lose. Well, you get it, right?
So that's the Batman game, and we're gonna talk a lot more about this game in this video, so we should jump to the first question, which is...
Who would you get this for?
3, 2, 1... Batdemic victims.
Bat fans and fans of this exact comic, or this comic, or maybe movies.
If you're a fan of Batman, then this game is for you. Very specifically, if you have read this comic and would wonder how it would be as a board game, then this game is for you. There is some pandemic principles here. For me, much better version of similar principles, which are that there are these, well, kind of diseases spread around the city. You have to move around and get rid of them. If you were a fan of Batman, Bat fan, and you also like the pandemic type of feel, then this is game for you. And you might be a pandemic victim. You have to see the doctor.
What are the best 3 things about this game? My third best thing is going to be dice management. Each time you start a combat, you can take 3. But some of the dice are better at blocking, and some dice are better at hitting, and some dice kind of let you ram the opponent, but it also damages you. And as you go, you maybe possibly get better dice, and then you can choose which ones to take.
I think it's very, very smooth and well made, and it also complements my point, which is the gadgets. Batman is really all about gadgets, to be honest. There are these bonus goals, and when you finish them, you get new gadgets, new dice maybe, new vehicles or something. And these gadgets is what makes this game a Batman game, because that's how you progress. And it just feels so good. You get stronger, smarter, better, as Batman always does in his comics.
But do you get stronger, smarter, better?
Probably no.
Just the Batman.
I just get older and then... My next thing is your input. You will say, hey, I'm playing a board game. Everything should be my input. But this one goes out of its way even from the beginning.
Yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Even from the beginning. Because you can actually draw on the board. You make your own paths along the way. So you can connect 2 different regions, for example. As you begin the game, it says how many bad guys you need to put on the map. But you still choose where exactly they will go. That's your input. You create that game that you will play. There's other bonuses that you will draw on. And it's very unique how your input is what creates your campaign.
It's not just like, well, if you decide to help the old lady, then read paragraph A, and if you... No! You made the road for the old lady. Best thing about this game is the theme. It's a Batman game, and if you put a Batman on a game, I'm already interested. This is like at least the 3rd or 4th Batman game, board game that I've played, and I'm very cautious every time I play. I'm not gonna spoil my rating, but theme's awesome about this game.
Yeah, well, mine is true to the comic. I haven't seen a better representation of whatever came first, movies or comics or whatever. If you have read that comic, you will see that everything is here from that comic. The bad guys, why some allies do the things that they do is because that's what happens in the comic.
It is a love letter to the comic book. Yeah, it's super true to the source material.
Yeah. It's the visuals, it's the mechanics, it's the feel, it's everything.
So these are the things why the game might not be for you.
It's big, it's too big. It takes so much table space. The box is huge. The rulebook is huge without any reason. For me, I found it... Wait.
Don't go anywhere. He'll be right back. While he's away getting a rulebook, consider, supporting the channel with our Patreon, right? Nanananana Patreon, support us.
There's not too much text. It's not too difficult. I kind of liked it, but just the pure size of it was so inconvenient. A lot of things are inconvenient.
Price? This is the deluxe version, by the way. The only difference is that instead of these minis, you will get standees. It's not a cheap game. It's at least $100. If you're not sure, and I think by the end of this video, you will know if you're sure, maybe just try to borrow it somewhere. Because as a borrow game, do it now. No, wait, watch the video and then do it.
My last one and the biggest one, flavor. Because there's not a lot of flavor here in this game, which is also comes together with the fact that if you haven't read the comic, from time to time, you won't know what the hell is happening.
Exactly true. If you have not read the comic, you're not gonna get what's going on. When you start each game, there's a little bit of flavor in the rulebook, like itsy bitsy sentencey. Why is Two-Face's face all wrapped up? You don't know.
Yeah, no clue.
No idea. What is a mutant? Is this a mashup between X-Men? You don't know.
Yeah, you kind of need to buy this game together with that comic, or if you already have read it, then this game is meant for that.
It's set up, and each game takes up to 2 hours, I'd say. Well, if you lose, then maybe less. And then after each game, you can save the game, but it is a lot of hassle. Because you have to remember where all these tokens are. They tell you to take a photo, but just taking it off, putting it back again, it's just...
You would love to keep it on the table and just leave it there.
So it's an issue for sure.
With this issue, let's move on to the next question, which is...
How long is the honeymoon with Batman?
Just as the comic, there are those 4 scenarios. I read them, I finished them, and now I'm kind of done. I will put it in my shelf, and maybe after a while when I will have forgotten about it, I see it, and then it's like, oh, cool, okay.
I have read this at least 3 times over like 15-year period.
Yeah, similar to this. You could do the same thing. I think when you read it, you don't want to play it again, but you might return just like the Dark Knight did.
If you lose in the third scenario, third game, you have to restart everything. But there's an easy mode where you don't have to. But does Batman use the easy mode? No, he does not. So depending on how it goes and depending on your preferences and depending if you like the game, you might actually take a couple of tries to get through all 4 in one go. It's like an interactive comic if you read the comic.
It's kind of the expansion of the comic, which costs €100.
Definitely not outright no the second time, but not right after the first time probably. But what is the best alternative to this game? Arkham Horror 3rd Edition?
Yep.
Oh, I see how you got this mixed up. So it's Arkham Asylum there, not Arkham Horror?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
makes sense.
Honest mistake, but continue.
Sorry, I felt similar vibes. A game about a city, moving around feels similar, where you go to places and get rid of bad things. There are monsters here, also monsters, I guess. There are more flavor texts, and Arkham Horror 3rd Edition also introduced this, not really legacy version, but there's choices and stuff like that, so there's more of that. But just the gameplay itself felt similar to me.
Actually, this is the first time I'm gonna say that there is no alternative. So if you're looking for a Batman game, there isn't one. I've played multiple Batman games, and this is the best one I've played. Hands down, the best Batman experience I've ever had in a board game. And if you're looking for that, I don't think there is an alternative.
And we talked about Pandemic also. If you want to know how the mechanics themselves kind of feel like, they are pandemic-y.
Let's see what the final rating is.
3, 2, 1, boom.
Okay. So, my freaking long rating is fantastic Batman solo game if you have read the comic.
Yeah, pretty much so.
And you can't take any of these out. This is one thing. If you read the comic, well, actually, I should have added if you liked the comic, but that would make it too long.
That's too long. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Now I know.
That's like, I didn't want to take it too far.
Yeah, okay.
If you read the comic, if you like Batman, if you like the comic, if you're okay playing solo, I think it's gonna be a fantastic game. It may be not must-have, but you definitely should get your hands on it and try to play it. If, sadly, at least one of these things doesn't fit for you, I don't think it's gonna be good for you.
I overall said it's good. I fit all of these things that you said, and I feel like it was really good. I had fun playing it. I'm not jumping out of my pants about it. Solid in a lot of ways. There's a lot of fun things about it, but it's also a bit grindy, mechanical, and the flavor thing, I guess, is my like big issue with it. I would love to kind of feel it more Batman-y. Like when playing it, did you feel like Batman?
Yeah.
What made you feel like Batman?
I'm old as well. It's very hard to go from place to place. Everything hurts sometimes.
Yeah. For me, that was the gadgets and upgrading, doing these things and getting new dice and attacking.
It did make me feel like in the comic, there's a lot of bad things happening everywhere, and you have to take care of all these things. Plus, there's the big baddie, and it did give me that feel again since I read the comic.
Yeah.
And if I had not, I'd be totally lost at what is happening.
True.
There is zero explanations for that.
My rating is good, and I would suggest you try it out for sure if you fit this description that Jan's made. That's our review. I hope you know if this game is for you, and now it's just one thing left for you to do.
Subscribe, like, share, and check out our Patreon, right?
Yeah, there's actually multiple things for them to do.
Yeah, it's a bundle deal.
Yeah.
Just one bundle deal to do.
Support us.
Yeah, good. That narrows it down.
Yeah.